Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I will be soon be joined with my good panelist, Makobura, Joseph, Musimamo, and Simba. Actually, Simba, it has been a while. We've not seen Simba Natai. Simba Natai is usually the ambassador of broad-based government, and we've not heard from him for quite some time. I hope and I believe he's doing fine. Today there are quite a much that is taking place. Kuna mengi ambayo yanajiri katika mlingo wa siasa. Vitu ni vingi sana. Tutaenda katika nchi jirani kule Uganda. As you know, our neighbors, the Ugandans, today they were voting for their presidential and their representatives. But something that came out is that they what we call it, the electrical machines, or do we call the kimskate? In Kenya, we call them kimskate. Some of them were not working. Majority of them were not working. So they resorted to manual voting, whereby they look at your ID and key in your details. Then from there, you vote, and that's it. So we are still waiting. But before they went to voting yesterday, there were quite a number of military artillery or military police. The military were on the street yesterday. And if you look at Uganda, you can be asking yourself, are they going to war or they are going for an election? So that is something that is happening in Tanzania, and not Tanzania, I'm very sorry, in Uganda. So they are having problems with identification, especially with electronic processes. So they resorted to manually identifying themselves manually. So that is something that is happening in Uganda. There's also would I say good news or bad news? I think all of you know Juja MP Koimburi quits Gachagua DCP amid spy and fraud claims. Remember, huyu ndio ule nasema kwamba MP ambaye alikuwa amejikidnap. Unakumbuka hizo wakati akapatikana huko kwa shamba la chai, sijui ilikuwa wapi. Sasa ameamua kurudi nyumbani, amewachana na chama cha Rigathi Gachagua na amerudi katika UDA, chama ambacho kilimchagua. Wacha tu nikupatia habari hapa. Koimburi, a UDA lawmaker from Juja in Kiambu County, publicly left Rigathi Gachagua Democracy for Citizens Party, blasting its leadership for conning aspiring candidates out of money with false 2027 ticket promises. DCP Secretary General Hezron Obaga countered that Koimburi was just an informal ally who skipped events, demanded a special treatment over rival Alois Kinyanjui's DCP entry, and allegedly spied for Ruto to dodge 15 criminal cases on land fraud, forged certificates, and fake 2025 abduction. The clash revives tension in Mount Kenya politics, where Gachagua is rallying opposition against Ruto ahead of 2027 election, as a similar criticism from figures like Githunguri MP Gathoni wa Mushomba exposed growing rifts. So, Miguda, from look of things, from the look of things, DCP is not finding it very easy. Quite a number of members who were allied to Rigathi Gachagua, seemingly going back to President William Ruto. And to be very sincere, there are so many notable figures who were with Rigathi Gachagua that I don't see with Rigathi Gachagua, especially right now. Ketwa Ruguru. Ketwa Ruguru used to be in the Rigathi Gachagua campaign team. Nowadays, I'm not seeing her. We have Kimani Bahati, former Bahati member of parliament, also used to be with Rigathi Gachagua. Remember when Rigathi Gachagua went to the Karen hospital? Was it Karen when he left He did not appear in Senate. They went there, and he was crying on how Rigathi Gachagua was treated. Now he's not with Rigathi Gachagua. So there's something that is happening with the DCP, and this tells you how politics is shaping right now in the country. Paulo, how are you doing? Yes, Miguda, how are you doing, sir? Okay, I still wait for Miguda. There's also another, and I want us here to at least make us think. This is what President William Ruto has pledged today. The government will select 90 youth who finished primary or secondary school but lack further skills, train them trades like tailoring, machine or plumbing for 6 months, cover certificates, exams, and provides 6,000 Kenya shillings monthly stipend. This roll out under the World Bank Nyota program, which targets 820,000 unemployed youths with apprehensive business grants up to around 50,000, digital skills and saving schemes, recently disbursing of 147.5 million in 3 counties. Ruto called it proof of his bottom-up economic model, though reactions split between praise for addressing 12 to 65% youth jobless and criticism on as short-term handouts echoing past political terms. So that is what is happening. So here, President William Ruto will be looking at 90, especially these are students who finished primary school or secondary schools. So for example, for those who finished secondary school, primary school, what is making them not to go to high school to continue or to further their education? Why do you have to decide to give them those training? It is good though. I'm not saying that is a very bad idea, but why is it that those who have not, these are people who have just graduated from primary school, some of them want to further their education, and you're telling them this, or that is a shortcut? I would want to get your opinion on that. And this was happening. I think President was in Machakos, and so this is what is happening. And people are saying that President Ruto is set to implement Raila Odinga proposal to provide unemployment youth with a monthly stipend of 6,000. How will our economy accommodate this? Bottom up, more of bottom down, trickling down the glass. So there's quite a I don't know. That is what is happening, especially with the president on his tour. So sasa kwa wale ambao labda wajajiunga na shule cha upili ama wale ambao wajajiunga na chuo kikuu, ndio msaada ndio wenyu hapo, rais anatoa msaada hapo. So if you're one of those people, just try and find those places that president, be among the 90 who the president is going to provide with this initiative that he has started for bottom up. Busia County Governor Otuoma forced to say 2-term after the ODM party leader demanded the membership campaigning for Ruto 2027 presidential bid. Unajua, what is happening when you look at ODM, there are those who have decided that they are going to support Ruto, which is okay, because when you look at our Kenyan politics, there are those what we call coalitions, because like right now there is no a single party that can win general election. So ODM is supporting President William Ruto. And I want to bring you to attention of what happened yesterday, which we're going to talk about the reason why the Kamkunji rally held by Oburu Odinga and the ODM fraternity, that was a disaster. That was the biggest disaster, especially in ODM. As a party that people know, I think the people who organized that rally are a disgrace to their party leader. They could have done better in Kibra. And if you listen to them, some of them they were sending violence messages, chaotic, That was a disaster. Let me see what our good friend Gypsy Kone say here. All what Ruto is doing is getting on board his equipped voters. Let them gather the two-term. Yes. Let me see also what Paulo is saying here. The project is funded by World Bank, which is a kind of a loan which will be repaid by the government. So this means the taxpayers' money will dig into their pockets. Yes, that is what is there. Miguda Barigani. Hello, Miguda. Okay, seemingly Miguda is not responding. So this is what somebody is saying of what happened yesterday. Dirty politics continued to unfold within ODM as allegation emerged that Oburu is exerting pressure on Sifuna, Babu Owino, and Orengo to resign, raising serious concerns about internal democracy and leadership struggle within the party. True. If you look at what is happening in ODM, there's a leadership struggle. And you look back, the kind of party that Raila Amolo Odinga led, and somebody or you and me would agree that this is not the ODM of Raila Odinga. This is a different ODM altogether, because just let's go back and revisit what happened yesterday, the rally or consultation forum that happened in Kibra. One, the people who organized that rally or the people who organized it did not plan well, and they failed the ODM and Oburu Odinga. The reason why I'm saying that, remember, this was the first rally that Oburu was holding after being appointed as after being confirmed as the ODM party leader. Yeah, that is the first rally that he's holding. Yeah. Hey, Miguda sasa. Vipi Miguda?
Unanisikia? Sauti yangu iko sawa?
Sauti yako iko sawa. Kama uko na mic upunguze volume kidogo kwa sababu kinakaa iko juu sana.
Bado iko juu ama iko sawa sasa?
Iko sawa sasa. Asante sana kwa kukuja. Umekuwa na changamoto hapo na mtandao, lakini labda tu kusikia wazo lako, nianze mpya mazungumzo. Nchi yetu jirani hapa Uganda walienda katika uchaguzi, lakini unapata kwamba walikuwa na changamoto sana sana kwa kutumia zile vitambo ambazo wanatumia kutambulisha mpiga kura. Ikabidi wakaenda kwa ile mtindo wa zamani, na hii ni kitu ambacho labda hata nchini Kenya tumekumbana nayo. Inamaanisha kuwa huwa tunajitayarisha aje kupiga kura kama nchi zetu za Afrika, ambapo unapata kwamba hata baada ya miaka mitano, ambao unajua kwamba tutakuwa na uchaguzi miaka mitano, lakini bado tukienda katika uchaguzi lazima tupitie changamoto kama haya ambayo ndugu zetu wamepitia kule nchini Uganda.
Kwanza ningependa kusema ya kwamba sisi kama wananchi, sisi kama Wakenya tunapata kwamba hasa watu wa eneo la Afrika Mashariki, sisi tunakwanga tumejiandaa tu kwa mtu alikuwa ananiambia ati we are just preparing on a paper, but practically there is how outcome usually being decided or being made. So I can just say first, the people of East Africa, like what have happened today in Uganda, they are being prepared psychologically that they are going. It is election must be their way, not the way of the people, the way of the leaders. So if anybody has an interest to make sure that election turns to their favor, that is not null and void in Africa. And we have seen different countries, that in Tanzania and in Uganda, that they have actually comply with the dictators of the time, and they are running East Africa like a colonial era, whereby people could just decide, some 2 individuals or 3 or 10 people, but not the people. In this time whereby democracy prevail, majority of the people. Kenyan people right now, we are being compelled to many things, and I can assure you that they're just trying to strategize on how they are going to rig elections. Rigging has been a norm in the African countries, and it is something that I don't know how we will deal with that rigging system, because it's like it is a norm whereby each and every election there is no surety, and there has been threat from the state, like what happened in Uganda, that I saw presence of heavy police officers, and also internet was switched
Military.
off. Yeah, military, sorry, not police officers. military military internally dealing with the area. So you understand, we are heading to the wrong direction. I can attest to you.
Okay, thank you so much. We are also seeing quite a number of members of DCP party are going back to the UDA. I hope you know the Juja MP, Kambori, who he said now stage managed his abduction, and he has accused his DCP party of conmanship and so many things. And we also have Gathoni Wamushomba too, seem not to be singing the DCP songs. And there were also Moses Kuria yesterday said that the journey has started. Like quite a number of members of parliament who are aligned to Rigathi Gachagua are on their way out to UDA. What does this one tell you, especially when you're looking at the politics of Mount Kenya and also President William Ruto?
Okay, thank you. I just want to say that, remember when DCP was being formed, there were people who were already in, and you saw what happened when Gachagua was being impeached. Before impeachment, he used to work with people like Oburu, who were vocal and controversial towards William Ruto, and we were even telling Kindiki to heed to our advice to actually sign Oburu on his side, because of the voice he used to choose to mobilize for Gachagua. Then as time goes by, Gachagua all of a sudden become big and also being discussed in the country. He had some few senators by his side. He had some few leaders from Mount Kenya. All of a sudden we saw shifting. People like Ketu Aruguru are no longer there. And even you are seeing that when people are also, they went to DCP at that time, because you understand the wave in Mount Kenya. People prefer Gachagua by that time. And right now, you understand, there are many things that can work in politics. Maybe money has just come in and people are being paid to shift to UDA, or people are being promised that if you are in UDA, we are going to rig for your election. So you better be in our side, because we are going to rig for our people. Anybody who's aligned to UDA in Mount Kenya, we are going to rig for you, so you come back to parliament. I think those are just what we call a cunning politician, using all necessary means possible to persuade people to come to his side. So if you fall to his tribe, that is your own mistake. But I can assure you that even as we are able to read the ground and we're able to listen to the Mount Kenya people are done and dusted with William Ruto, and right now they're just waiting for the elections. I can just assure you, because even today I was having some of them. We are discussing. They're just waiting for that election, and William Ruto. I don't think. Not that I might be wrong. That is not my statement. I might be right. William Ruto is not going to get more votes in Mount Kenya.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. There's something that has really happened between our good friend, senior counsel lawyer Willis Senior Counsel Willis, this is what happened. MP Samuel Atandi faces hit over Awasi Primary School for poor state. And remember, Atandi will have to prove us wrong. Will have to prove us wrong, because like when Ndindi Nyoro was the chair for the budget, he claimed that Ndindi Nyoro, some of the, not him, but like majority of the people who were around him, Ndindi Nyoro was allocating some of funds to Kiharu, yeah, a lot of funds to Kiharu as compared to other areas. But now, ever since Atandi became the budget chair, so many people are questioning what he has done. And today, something happened in the internet, and it is trending. Lawyer Willis Evans Otieno shared images Thursday on rundown facility at Awasi in Siaya County, Alego Usonga, tagging Atandi, who chairs the budget committee and oversees hefty constituency funds. Atandi dismissed the photos as propaganda, challenging Otieno to visit and snap fresh ones, while critics point to repeated complaints since 2023 and question spending priorities amid overcrowding for 313 pupils. Atandi highlights other local school projects, but no upgrades appear for Awasi, fueling demands for accountability as schools open soon. Awasi Primary School, Usonga Ward Area MP Atandi, the chair of the budget committee. And not only him, quite a number of people have shared that. So it tells you accountability here in the internet is, you cannot forget. What do you say about Atandi?
Okay, bro, let me say one thing before we proceed. First, you understand that there was speculation, people were speaking, people were talking about Ndindi Nyoro, that when he's the chair for budget, he has allocated more to his constituency, not to other constituencies. But remember, today I was glad because even after him being ousted out of the budget chair committee, he's still one of the performing people in the parliament. And right now, if you go to Kairu constituency, like what I shared with you, you find out that the fees 500 per term. Why can't these other people also, or is he still allocating to his constituency? Even at a moment whereby he's not in the budget committee, not even a member, but he's still introducing, like each and every pupil in a day school is only paying 500 shillings. And these 500 shillings you'll pay for like 3 times in a year. So you pay 1,500. How many people will go to day school? Many people. And remember, at the local level, if you back to the village, the people who are poor are many. The people who are languishing in abject poverty are many, and they form part of the constituency. So if you can allow for their kids to go to school with 1,500, I think all of them are going to go to school. Everybody's now going to go to school. So there is no excuse that I cannot go to school because there was no school fee. I want to give Ndindi Nyoro his flowers when he's still alive, and also I want to say that Ndindi Nyoro, those are the leaders we want in this country, and people like Salasia have also said that they are going to introduce that in their Mumias's constituency, you are only going to pay 1,500 per term. So when you calculate 4,500 per year, 4,500 per year is not that much money, so people can afford it. So Mumias is, and Kiaru constituency, and also Trevor Mbija's promise is constituency that once elected as the member of parliament in 2027, people will pay 1,000 per year in the day school. That's Nyakal constituency. Those are the kinds of leaders we want. And when you talk about Atandi thought that when you are in budget chair, when they were attacking Ndindi Nyoro, when he was being interviewed, he said it was not a short-term program. For him, it was a long-term program. These are things that he was working when immediately was elected in 2017. He started working for those things, right? And it was a long-term project. So right now, he's realizing them. People like Atandi came the other day. You cannot compete someone who has prepared and also has been working for a long-time project, and you have just come to the office right now. Also, you need to sit down, draft your plan, be objective, and be futuristic, be visionary. That's when you can transform your constituency. So you cannot just come to the budget chair, then within a twinkle of an eye, your constituency is going to be similar like that of Kiaru. Cannot happen. So sometimes before we attack leaders, we need to be factual. because even them they were responding to Didi Nyoro that those are just allegations. So Atandi need to be factual and also the people supporting it because Wakili Sotino Senior Council has brought factual information, very
Yeah.
reliable, and we can believe we can rely in that intel. And we are very practical as a country right now because if they were performing, where are they? And Didi Nyoro has introduced very many good things in their constituency, and he has also challenged Gachagua by saying not only the Kikuyus in Kiaru who
Yeah.
will be going for that amount, everybody, even the Somalis who are living in Kiaru, are going to pay 500 shillings.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Miguda, for that. And Judith is just correcting you that the amount that the Peter Salasia was supposed to, they're going to pay 1,300. Now, let's go on recap. We want to do a recap of yesterday political rally that happened in Kamkunji. As I started earlier, Miguda, before I gave you an opportunity to also share with us what you have on your side. You know, this was the first rally that Oburu was having as a party leader. Secondly, this was the first rally that the first rally ODM was having, especially after the death of Raila Odinga. And more so, it was happening in the heart of the Raila Odinga fan base because you know that Kibra has always been where Raila usually starts his political rally. That is like his home. But like when you look at what happened on the rally yesterday, first of all, it was disorganized. I do not know who organized that rally because I feel if they wanted to even to make Oburu to appear more strong, the organization of that rally could have been well planned so that even you send the message, because like political rallies like that one, they come with the perception. Because like if the rally was so disorganized the way it is, it tells you that the party is also weak. Yeah, to a point whereby Oburu would speak in vernacular. You know, did you hear that? Yeah. So Miguda, let's start with you. When you look at the organization, even the podium where the leaders were seated and how even the leaders were talking, what was running in these people's mind to organize such, knowing very well that this is very crucial? And what was the hurry?
That's a very good question because you understand that before Raila died, whenever Raila was having a Kamukunji rally, he usually communicate even a week to or 3 days to. He was preparing people psychologically, and people were being charged that. And anytime he calls Kamukunji, that was going to be a new declaration. People were always aware. But yesterday, like I've told you, I was on the car moving. Then suddenly I was notified on my phone that there's a Kamukunji rally. Even me, I was not aware. So I was just notified by YouTube that ODM are holding the rally. So even the day before, I never knew there was going to be a rally. That's why it was disorganized. The people organized, we don't know the people organized it. And also the podium, we talked about the podium. And the people who were present and the body language, they were forcing people. It's like I've told you, they were in a hurry to ensure that they go ahead and negotiate with William Ruto. So let them do whatever they want to do. But all in all, that rally was dead on arrival. It was not charged. People were not there in large. There were no multitude of people, and even they were anticipating that goons will be there. There were just some few goons who were paid, but they the smart goons were missing in action because
Yep.
you know the owners of the smart goons in town. And I can assure you that, like I told you, people are going to fight here. That NDC, people must fight for people to respect each other, and the people who will emerge victorious will carry out the party. And that is politics sometimes because there are people who are pushing Oburu. In my view, decisions are being made behind the curtains, and Oburu is just being used as an instrumental vessel, but the real owners are there somewhere. Just like you understand what's happening because Wanga had to force people to go to Kamkunja, and Wanga was like the master of ceremony. Since when Wanga became the master of ceremony for ODM, surely. And Wanga was only identify people who could speak. Like he was saying, some members of parliament are not going to speak, but he was also saying that let us hurry so party can give us direction. Oburu Odinga said few things. But even during the installation of, you know what happened inside the Robinson, they were saying, today we have come here to install Oburu as the ODM party leader. At the same time, we have come here to install Oburu as the looking pin. And when he was given that headgear, that headgear fall down. So when it fell down, it means that you are not a chosen one. Because when you are a chosen one and a real one, according to culture, there is no need for that headgear to fall. And even right now, if you're installing me as a leader in that capacity, and that headgear decided to fall down, or when I'm having the spear fails, or maybe the 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 animal skin decided to fall, it means that I'm not the chosen one. So in my conclusion, Oburu is not the chosen walking pin. Oburu is just a passing cloud. The real leader will emerge.
Why should it be installed in Nairobi?
That is very important question. Significantly, culturally, you cannot be installed in Nairobi because there are places to be installed for it to be installed. There should be presence of the care. You know, the care was missing in action. There should be presence of cultural, more of a scene. The scene should be like a cultural, maybe like a Gotramogi, such things. And you know what happens? There are so many things that then you need to undertake. Some odds which were not undertaken. Even Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was being installed as the Mount Kenya kingpin before he faces the late Raila Odinga in 2013. They went back to home. We saw him in the rural area being coronated. But why do you coronate someone in Nairobi? So that's what I can say. Culturally, he's just a passing cloud, and the rightful heir will emerge one day. And as we are here just to witness, for now we can just escort them. But what we are saying and insisting is that you should listen to some few leaders. Currently in Kenya, there's conversation going on, and the conversation is going on very vigorously. People are sick and tired of this government. So if you are going to be left out, that is your problem. But we should don't look at the issue of tribe. Just focus on the issue of, like what we have said, the cost of living, service delivery, healthcare, education, fuel levy, ET hall. Focus on those issues. Do not shallow your mind to tribe that because he was a Kikuyu, now he's a Kalenjin, we want to bring another Kalenjin, another Kikuyu. That is nonsensical discussion. Let us focus on the person who is going to transform this country.
Okay, thank you so much. Msimamo habari gani kakangu? Msimamo habari gani? Msimamo habari gani? Okay, asante sana. Wacha ndamsubiri, kinakaa labda kuna changamoto.
Unanipata sasa?
Nakupata vizuri.
Bwana, habari yangu nzuri, na wewe?
Mimi niko salama.
Naam. Ndugu yangu, kwanza pokea zangu, ndugu yangu hapa ndio tunapozungumza pokea zangu, lakini vile vile pia wale wako kwa comment section, na pia niko kwenye safari. Kwa hiyo utashangaa kuna milio na sauti ambazo hazielezeki, lakini nitazungumzia kwa kiduchu tu kisha nizungumze.
Okay, sawa sawa. Labda tuambie kwa haraka, kwa sababu kwa safari, unadhani ni jambo gani inafanya sana sana maviongozi wa chama cha ODM wakuwe na haraka ile, wasiwe na subira? Kwa sababu ukiangalia jinsi maneno inaendelea, ni kama ni vitu ambazo zinasukumwa, zina mpango, kulingana na jana ile mkutano ambao tuliona, si ile ya ODM ambao sisi tunajua.
Ndugu yangu, ushakula chambo, tegemea ndoano kukamata. Mimi nishazungumza maneno hapo, lakini ukasema msimamo na Mswahili mwingi lakini nishawaeleza kwamba ukishameza chambo basi ukishajiandae kwa kushikwa na ndoano, right? So hawa waliotengeneza mkutano jana wote walishikwa na ndoano, maana waliimeza chambo. Kwa hivyo kutoka ni ngumu. na ndio maana hauna ukawaida ule ambao tumezoea, hauna uchangamfu kama ule ambao tumezoea, lakini vile vile tu uonekane kwa media, of which to me that thing does not haitusaidii kwa vyovyote vile, kaka yangu Beni. Kwa hivyo wale wote walijiunga haswa msitu mmoja kusema sisi tuko ndani, haya ndo outcome, ambao outcome hii ni kwa ajili yao, lakini si kwa ajili ya mimi na wewe Benson. Alright?
Okay.
Kwa hiyo kumalizia ni kwamba tusishangae tu, tushangae yule ambaye ameweza kuwamezesha hiki chambo, na ni huyu mgeni ambaye nia yake si swafi kwa ajili ya uendezo wa hili jambo. Asante.
Okay, asante sana. Miguda, swali langu linakuja kwako kwa sababu unajua kwamba ODM ni chama ambacho kinasema kwamba hao wenyewe ni demokrasia na kila mtu ako na hiyo nafasi kusema yale ambao wanataka kusema ama wanataka kusema kuhusu chama. Hata mwenyekiti mwenyewe, ama si mwenyekiti lakini hata kama kiongozi mwenyewe Oburu Odinga alisema. Lakini kuna baadhi ya viongozi ambao jana walizungumza, mwingine alisema kwamba usikuje hapa kama wewe si wa tutam, kwa sababu kuna fununu kwamba kikosi cha Babu Owino, Edwin Sifuna na Winnie wako na fununu ambao zinaenea ni kwamba hao pia wako na mkutano uko Jumapili Kamkunji, watakuwepo pale. Lakini unapata kiongozi mwingine alisema kwamba wewe kama si wa tutam hatutaki hapa. Pia akaongea kwa kiongozi mwingine akamwambia inafaa ufanye jambo. Sasa demokrasi iko wapi hapo? Na hawa bado tu ni wa ODM, ingawaje tu ni wa ODM lakini ni tofauti ya fikira.
Asante sana kakangu. Unajua wakati baba alikuwepo, kabla baba age dunia, baba alikuwa katika chama cha ODM. Yeye ni yule mtu alikuwa anasema kila mtu akohoe. Alikuwa tumia matamshi kama hayo. Kohoeni, kila mtu akohoe, toeni yote mko nayo. Kila mtu aseme kenye kina msumbua kiakili. Mkohoe. Alafu baadaye wakati wakishakuwa wanaleta watu pamoja, wanakubaliana, wanachukua mwendo moja na wanaungana na marafiki zao, like minded friends. Baba hakuwa anafukuza watu wakikohoa. Leo hii ndugu yake, kama uko na maoni tofauti na yeye, unaambiwa ya kwamba wewe uondoke, ama unaambiwa ya kwamba nimesha kwamba kile demokrasia cha ODM ya kwamba tuko na uhuru na demokrasia ya kufikiria, ya kuzungumza mawazo yetu bila wasiwasi, bila kutishwa. Ni kama leo hii hiyo demokrasia limezikwa katika kaburi la sahau. Wakati ulizika baba Bondo, demokrasia ilizikwa huko katika kaburi la baba. Sasa hivi wanasema ya kwamba haiwezekani, lazima kila mtu afuate nyayo ya Oburu Odinga. Hiyo haiwezekani. Tunasema kwamba sisi tulifundishwa kwamba kila mtu, hii katiba tulipigania sisi sote. Na wakati sisi tunajivunia kuwa wa Kenya, hakuna yule Mkenya aliye bora kuliko mwingine, ama hakuna yule mwanachama bora kuliko wengine. Wanachama sisi sote tuko sawa, lakini kuna wale wanaojifanya wako bora kuliko wengine. Kuna wale wanajifanya kwamba mawazo yao au maono yao ni bora kuliko ya wengine. Haiwezekani. Kila mtu ako na uhuru ya kufikiria, kila mtu ako na uhuru ya kutoa maono yake, na kama tukubaliani haimaanishi sasa sisi maadui. Tunakosa kubaliana, lakini baadaye lazima tufanye mambo kulingana na vile tulifundishwa na mambo mazuri. Hatuwezi ungana na wewe na unazidi kupora nchi. Hatuwezi ungana na wewe na elimu ya wana Kenya, unakula pesa za elimu zote. Hatuwezi ungana na wewe na hakuna fedha za afya. Vile vile hatuwezi ungana na wewe na hatuoni mabadiliko tushakupatia mamlaka katika miaka 10 iliyopita. Sasa ni bora kusema tu hivi, tukue watu wazuri, tukue watu waaminifu, tukue watu ambao tuko na msimamo, tusikue watu ambao hatuna msimamo, hatuna hata mawazo mazuri kwa wananchi wenzetu. Ni sisi ni wale wasee, tunaangalia tu tumbo letu. Ni tu tumbo letu, kama si tumbo lako au jali tumbo la wananchi. Sasa hiyo ni sio jambo nzuri, na ningependa tu kusema tu sasa hivi ni lazima kila mtu ajumuishwe, na lazima kila mtu alete kwa meza. Kama wezi watu kwa meza, hiyo meza itavunjwa na itavunjwa vibaya.
Okay, asante sana. Labda tu nikiuliza msimamo swali, nadhani pia wewe pia ulikuwa na nafasi ukaona jana yale yaliyotokea. Mimi nataka kuzungumzia mbunge wa Ruaraka TJ Kajwang', mheshimiwa. Katika mazungumzo yake yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anazungumzia Rigathi Gachagua kwa mkutano kama ile ambao labda nyinyi mlikuja, kwanza ni mkutano kubwa sana. Unapata kwamba yeye mwenyewe alileta jina la Rigathi Gachagua. Sasa pale Rigathi Gachagua alifanya nini? Na nyinyi mko katika mkutano wenu, jamaa hajaongea na nyinyi. Lengo lake haswa lilikuwa ni nini? Labda ndugu yetu Migoda, labda kama unaweza patiana maoni yako, unadhani lengo lake lilikuwa ni nini? Kuleta pale jina la Rigathi Gachagua, na hao wenyewe wamekuja na kiongozi wao, wanataka kujadili vitu vya vyama. Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa anakuja aje kwa mazungumzo haya? Okay, kinakaa tuonge leo.
Sawa. Ni kama leo kuna shida na mtandao, lakini tutapambana. Ningependa kusema hivi, wakati unazungumzia Rigathi Gachagua, unajua hiyo swali ukiuliza kina TJ Kajwang' watakwambia hata wao Rigathi Gachagua wao wazungumzia. Ni sawa, wanasiasa wanazungumzia kwao wenyewe, lakini kama walikuwa wameenda Kamkunji kutangaza wazi ya kwamba wako na msimamo fulani, kwani msimamo yao ilikuwa Gachagua? Hiyo ndio swali tunauliza. Msimamo yao ilikuwa Rigathi Gachagua? Kwani wao wanaenda tu huko Kamkunji ati sisi msimamo yetu ni Gachagua? Wangeenda pale Kamkunji na waambia wananchi ya kwamba sisi kama chama, hii ndio msimamo yetu, hii ndio kauli yetu kama chama. Lakini unapata kuna saa zingine mtu tu mwenye amevuta bangi zake anapatiwa microphone, yeye anaanza tu Gachagua. Ama mwingine anapatiwa microphone anaanza tu William Ruto. Saa zingine unafaa kupata microphone na uambie wananchi wewe aswa kama kiongozi ni nini unataka kufanyia wananchi, ama ni nini aswa wewe uko nayo kwa nia zako ama kwa plan zako za kufanya wananchi. Si mambo ya kila saa kupatiwa microphone kazi yako ni Gachagua, William Ruto Gachagua, Raila Odinga. Hizo siasa zimepita na wakati, na sasa hivi viongozi kama hao hawafai kuchaguliwa. Mtu kama TJ Kajwang', yeye alikuwa anataka kuweka jana mazungumzo ya kwamba sisi kama chama yule adui yetu ni Gachagua. Na pengine kama wewe adui yako ni Gachagua, mimi adui yangu si Gachagua. Pengine adui yako ni Gachagua, lakini pengine hata Edwin Sifuna adui yake si Gachagua ama Babu Owino ama Maida. Wewe kama hata ukiulizwa Gachagua alikufanyia nini wewe TJ Kajwang', hata ana jibu. Yule mtu ambaye anasema anaweza kuwa adui ya Gachagua pengine Rais William Ruto, juu wao wanajuana vile walipatana, vile waliachana na vile saizi wanatusiana. Lakini sasa wewe mtu mdogo unaingizwa kwa vita za wazee, hautawezana kweli? Mimi mtu kama TJ Kajwang', mimi naye siwezi cheza hizo siasa ya kwamba ati mimi kama ni kiongozi wa nchi ama kiongozi wa eneo bunge fulani na ingizwe kwa siasa za wadosi ama siasa za wakubwa, ya kwamba sasa mimi natumika kutusi mdosi mwingine ama mkubwa mwingine, ama mimi natumika. Na hapana, mimi niko na nia nzuri ya wananchi, nazungumzia wananchi, nazungumzia mabadiliko. Hivyo ndio siasa inafaa kuwepo. Hata kama utanipatia kamiti katika bunge juu nimekataa kufanya mambo yako, hiyo ni yako. Juu unapata wananchi ambao ama weneo bunge langu wao ndio wamenipatia mamlaka, wamenipatia nguvu nikuje katika bungeni. Si vile mtu amenichagua, si Gachagua amenichagua. Sasa mimi siwezi enda katika bunge la kitaifa kufanya mambo ya William Ruto. Siwezi katika bunge la kitaifa kufanya mambo ya Gachagua. Mimi naenda kwa bunge la kitaifa kufanya mambo la wananchi ambao wamenichagua na kufanya mambo ya wananchi wa Kenya kwa jumla. Hizi siasa za sarakasi ambao unatumia mtu katika bunge la kitaifa ambaye yeye ni afisa wa serikali, kazi yake ni kuamka asubuhi Gachagua, kazi yake kuamka asubuhi William Ruto. Hapana, wewe enda pale bungeni. Kazi yako ya kwanza ni kuhakikisha kwamba umetuakilisha sisi. Kazi yako ya pili ni kuunda sheria, na vile vile kazi yako ni kuhakikisha kwamba serikali umekuwa kama opposition. unaangalia serikali vizuri. Sasa hii kazi ya hizi siasa za matusi ama siasa za chuki, hizo siasa za wazee, na sisi kama kizazi kipya hatutacheza hizo siasa. Na kama wewe ni kijana chipukizi kama mimi, unakuja hapa hizo siasa zako za wazee ya kutusi watu, wewe you are in the wrong place.
Right. Asante sana. Mimi kauli yangu, Gibson, thank you so much. Mimi kauli yangu kuhusiana na ile wakati ambapo TJ Kajwang alipatiwa nafasi kuzungumza na wananchi ama wanachama wa ODM ama wafuasi wa ODM, badala ya kusema jambo ambalo labda kiliwaleta yeye akaingilia mambo ya Rigathi Gachagua, ni jambo moja labda yeye mwenyewe alikuwa shaangalia akaona kwamba there is that disconnect. There was a big disconnect between the people themselves and the leadership. And you know, one thing that what politicians usually does is whipping the emotions of the people. You know, I think they've whipped the emotions of the people with Rigathi Gachagua, and they've squeezed Rigathi Gachagua until it has no effect, especially in any campaign rally. So when you want to come and say that Gachagua, you need to do this, I think it is high time also they should come up with, these politicians, they should come up with things that could make meaning to the people. Gachagua has his own art of politics that you cannot take away from him, whether you label him tribal, any kind of label that you're going to give Rigathi Gachagua, that one doesn't matter. But you should find a way of how do you make sure that you win the hearts of the people. So when you look at how the TJ Kajwang was acting, and with a lot of arrogance, calling himself the Chief Justice of the people, something that all they're not forgetting. They're forgetting one thing, that the person who made all those rallies to be how they used to be was the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Yeah, was the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. And they used to take advantage of those crowds when they're given opportunity, and they would do anything. But now that opportunity was not there. Because to me, I feel this was going to be, maybe they thought in themselves that this is going to be Raila moment. You know, Raila moment, because like when Raila usually used to attend those rallies, yeah, you would see how the Raila connected with the ground. Look at even, for example, how Oburu Odinga was addressing. First of all, he was being advised. You just speak. Look at Fatuma Gedi behind. Some other leaders were also urging him in Kijaluo, you know, and you know, you are addressing, because like people are interested to know, what are you going to say, and what is your take on this, you know? And the way he was speaking, it is that everybody has already read his mind what he was going to do. There's nothing that people are expecting apart from what he said. So I think the organizers could have done something good. Maybe another thing to look at also before inviting me, good, the reason why this meeting flopped, I would have said hurry. I don't know where the ODM is rushing. From the Central Committee meeting that was held in Mombasa, again to what happened in Kibra, yet they know very well that they are dealing with a power struggle within the party. What could have been right if they were people who are, if ODM was very, 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 very sensitive that they want to form the next government. There's no, I'm not opposed to them forming with President William Ruto, because in Kenyan politics right now, there's no single party that can win election. But they could have, first of all, decide to unite themselves so that they do away with internal struggles that they have. And when they go to such like rallies, you have people like Sifuna, you have people like Babu Owino, you know, it could have made more meaning rather than going with the politics of thorax. Kwa Kiswahili tunajiita kwamba wanamwambafai. Unajua mtu ambaye anajimwambafai, anajibeba kifua, ndio kusema mimi ndio kusema mtaa hii. Unaweza kuwa mtu wa kusema ndio, lakini baada miaka mitatu utakuwa mtu wa kusema. So I think that's where made this one to flop. Poor organization, again, lack of preparedness, and the message that they were supposed to deliver for people. was not there. So they need to get people to strategize for them, such like meetings. Again, something that also I witnessed Miguda was about the arrogancy of about some leaders who are saying that nobody is going to come here. That is not ODM that we used to know. Maybe Miguda, what can you say?
I agree with you, bro Benson, but there's things that we need to be realistic as ODM. Those people like Oburu. Well, I agree with your statement very clearly that they were expecting that it will be a Raila moment. Let me tell you one thing: Raila is dead. There's nobody who can be Raila. If you are dreaming to be Raila, my friend, that's a far-fetched dream. Each and every person should look for his number and play your number. Stick to your number. If you are playing number 7, if you are playing number 4, or if you're a midfielder, you go on with your number. You can't play Raila's number, and no one can fit his Raila's shoes. Everybody should look for his shoes and start a journey. This journey doesn't need you to borrow Raila's shoes. And people think that it's going to be a Raila moment, it's going to be a higher moment, it's going to be maybe Baba while you are away, Baba come home, the enigma. My friend, all those things are now history. It's high time we live the reality. The real thing is, Raila is no more. We are the people left behind. The struggle must continue, and we are not going to stop things because Raila is no more. Things have to move on. Life has to continue. Either way, you understand that at one point in life, everybody will have to go. But life will not stop. Before we came, there were people here. People fought for multi-party democracy. We were not there. People fought for independence. We were not there. People fought for many things. We were not there. Today, people fought for the 20th Constitution. Some were here, some are not there. The Gen Z revolt. Some were born today. So things must continue in life. This issue, people trying to imitate Raila or want to write a Raila image, that is Raila's thing. It was best of him. He did it. He's no more. We are only having the history. Raila lived his best life ever in this world. There is no better life he could have lived like the one he lived. So this thing whereby people think that they can be Raila, and also each and every time they have been given a microphone, they're telling us Raila this, Raila that. They will be shocked. Okay. They will be shocked.
Miguda, let me ask you. You see, what made ODM to have value is the consolidation that ODM had, especially from Nyanza, from Western Kenya, from Coastal, and even the friendship that they had with Kalonzo Musyoka. That made ODM to have value, and that's why they are called on the table. And even that's why President William Ruto looked for them, especially during the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, because President William Ruto with the UDA could not impeach Rigathi Gachagua, but they had to bring ODM because ODM had value. From what happened yesterday, even if it is President William Ruto now say that we want to work with ODM the way it is. And this confirms to me something, that when you look at a statement that President William Ruto made when he was in Nyeri, actually President William Ruto was right. How could you just leave Mount Kenya and come to look at a place whereby people are disorganized? You did not even see Western Kenya leaders. There was no member of parliament from Western. Yeah. But ODM...
ODM.
Yeah.
ODM used to have value. There you have said very clearly. Yeah. And that's why even in those positions of the party, like deputy party leader, there was someone from Coast, there was someone from Western, someone from Kisii. The chairperson was a Soba, not a Luo. You understand the way those positions were distributed across to other tribes, because the SG was a lawyer, Ora Bukusu, because Raila knew that the strength of ODM is not in Luo Nyanza. The strength of ODM was outside Nyanza, because of the partnership with other tribes made it stronger. And that's why it has value. And that's why William Ruto had to look for it. And that is why ODM has been a long-term party in the country. But things right now, if they decide to make it a Luo zone or a Luo party, then, and I told you this yesterday, bro, I told you that Ruto will argue that you people, you are divided. I can't give you what you want because you are divided. You are demanding for too much. If you cannot unite your community alone, why do you come to me to give you those positions? And it's the same person who has succeeded to divide you. That's the gospel he will sing to you. No, 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 no. You are demanding too much on negotiation, and already you are divided. Look at Owalo. Owalo is now running for the presidency. Onyango is running for the presidency. ODM alone is not even in unity. People are divided. They are team Owino, they are team Sifuna, there is team Oburu. So why do you come for me this much bargaining pact? And yet you know very well that you people, you are not as strong as you used to be. So as for me, as William Ruto, I'm going to give you what befits you. So that's why we're telling this banner, do not be ignorant when it comes to political negotiation or political scheming. Don't be ignorant, because the person who is conning you is a master, political, is a master political, is a shrewd politician, to say so. So I
And
think that they are getting it wrong.
let me because there's something that here also we have to understand. We are not opposed to ODM joining any other camp or having negotiation to President William Ruto, but we are asking them what is their value. What value do they bring on the table? If they are energetic men, for something that we have to agree. When you look at especially the campaigns in Nairobi and mobilization, Babu used to mobilize, and that is something without doubt. And remember, now you want to go without your energetic men, the younger people, especially the people who have energy. Babu Wino has following, is something that you cannot take away from him. Yeah, he knows how to mobilize. And why can't you use the potential of these young people? Even when you go to negotiation, you make them to be one of those people who are going to negotiate on your behalf so that you can get a better deal. How can you get a better deal if you are weak, if to say? Yeah. How can you go and get a better deal if you are leaving people like Sifuna out? And if you look at the fight that is happening, you look at the entire ODM, something that I come to realize, and one time they will they will regret it. People like Kasmuel Makore, and I saw our good friend nowadays has become a very strong member of ODM. I think I need to invite him here. Our good friend Honorable Kennedy Ondiek. I saw him today in one of the TV stations, and I will reach out to him so that we can have a conversation with him. He is our good friend, and one of the things, or one of the issues, if they wanted ODM to be strong, is how can we, because for now we know one thing that they have to accept, that in ODM we are having power struggle right now. There are people who are on the other side, people who are saying, okay, we are going to work with Ruto. There are people who are not willing to work with the President William Ruto. But now it is upon the party to bring a meeting, or to call a meeting, and let's agree. Let us reach a point whereby what do we agree on? We agreeing at 80, we disagreeing at 20. How can we make sure that this 20, first of all, we see on how we agree on it, then we start to negotiate and see where we are going to be. But with what happened yesterday, from the way some of the leaders were speaking, from the way they were talking, from the organization, even the party leader himself was being encouraged. You talk, mm, and it tells you where are they? And some of this, the intelligence. President William Ruto has intelligence report, or the intelligent community that will tell president, you know what, hapa hapa tusijisumbue, yeah, na bado ndio mnataka kwenda kusema kwamba mnataka deputy. How can you get the deputy? Yes, your partners, like people from Western Kenya, you're not involving them. Those part of your strength. How can you get the deputy? Looking at the cost is also giving the demands. If you cannot give Joe, then we will form our political party. What does it tell you? It tells you the coastal will go away. Look at Kisi. Matiang'i is also there with these people. Yeah, he's saying that, okay, we are negotiating, we are charting our path. Then at the end of the day, the party is going to be a Luo party. Yeah, it's going to lose that national outlook. Then, and Kenyan politics is that usually doesn't look at. I usually say that the Kenyan politics does not look how bright you are. Yeah, it doesn't look how bright you are. What matters at the negotiating table are the numbers. Numbers speaks. What numbers are you bringing on the table? What numbers? If you want to say that you want a deputy president, yeah, so you are a deputy president. You cannot get a deputy president, especially in this coalition with the kind of disorganization that you have in your party. Look at now Miguda, even Kalonzo. You see how President William Ruto has been attacking Kalonzo because he knows the potential of Kalonzo. However small it might be, but he knows that potential can change, can cost him. So what do you have to do? You have to prepare yourself early enough. So which means Kalonzo has a value right now. That president is trying by all means to make sure that he has to win Kalonzo on his side. Yeah. So Miguda, what do you think? Hello, Miguda. So that is something that ODM should look into. Another thing also, ODM should look into, which I know sometimes they might not, because like what has reached right now is that it is a war. People like Babu Owino and Sifuna, they're on their way out, and But how I wish the party could reach out to these young people, especially in the Cosmo, because Nairobi politics is very important. Yeah. I don't know whether you heard the statement, the statement that President William Ruto made when he was in Nyeri. Si mimi ndio mlinichagua, unadhani mimi ni pumbavu? Udhani mimi ni mjinga, niwache nyinyi na niende nitafute. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Miguda.
Bro Benson, I just want to tell you that there are some statements which were made like what you have said. Mm-hmm. A statement by William Ruto that the people of Mount Kenya elected me. Yeah. You people elected me. So do you think I can leave you people and you made me the president? Do you think I can leave you and go to those stupid people? And there's some people want to just for you to believe that they were never abused. Politics. He was referring to the people like Oburu Dinga. He was referring to the people of the ODM. He was referring to the people like Junet. And they want you to pretend, no, he was not referring to us. We are in broad-based government. We are working with William Ruto. You are hoping as not man. But there are things that you need. Don't pretend. Someone has tackled you. He has tackled you. Don't pretend that all those you want to sugarcoat things here. I don't think there is a good intention from the word go. Even when Raila was going to salvage William Ruto, there was no good intention. Ruto had never had a good intention for Raila Odinga. William Ruto does not forgive, and since they part with Raila Odinga, he has never forgiven him. So that is the truth. That is the truth. William Ruto has a date with many Kenyans. So if you decide to work with him, that is your problem. We don't care. As we are around, and when the right time comes, we will go to the polling station and decide on who to vote for. But there's no compelling people that you must vote because somebody has been rewarded anything. So I just want to say that don't pretend that. You don't remember when Ruto went to Kisumu and they attacked Gachagua that before Gachagua was impeached, that Gachagua was advocating for shares by that time. Then Ruto said that Gachagua, that politics is primitive politics and backwardness. Nyeri governor came out and said he was attacking Gachagua, that is primitive and backwardness. Then people are pretending, oh no, he was not referring to Gachagua. Little did we know that later on Gachagua was impeached by him. So today, you are saying he's not referring to the ODM people. Wait and see.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Migudam. And another thing that made this meeting, especially for Oburu Odinga, to not to perform well, I would talk of the politics of broad-based government in 2027. I think for sure that um, uh, even though the pollsters give that broad-based government especially has gained popularity, especially in parts of the country, but I think it is still not very easy for some people, or there's people who still don't believe in the broad-based government. Because like if they believed in broad-based government, I think people would have turned out in large number, even though some people are saying that it was an impromptu meeting. But even impromptu, those are very impromptu is how you test for your strength, especially as a political party or as a political leader. You know, rallies that are organized and are promoted sometimes do not kind of like show your strength as much as impromptu. Remember, impromptu is whereby you just go to a certain market and say that, okay, you want to greet people, and you find people leaving their jobs to come and listen to you, because how people used to do to Raila. You know, Raila, when go to any meeting, I tell you, people will the people will leave their jobs just to come and see what Baba is saying. You know, they want just to listen to that higher, higher. Then after that, they will just go home. And that's something that did not happen over there. Makubura, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing good. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you guys are also doing good. And,
Mm-hmm.
you've just talked of Baba and people coming to listen to him. Just him saying higher, higher was enough for the people to, to for their souls or for their, you know, it was, I don't know how to even put it. It was such a powerful such a powerful way of introducing himself from the people. It was a brand that Raila had. And you said that, and then I've just remembered the many times that Raila used to hold all these, all either meetings with the people, whether campaign, all these uh, meetings that he had with the people. He would, okay, okay. He would start with that statement of higher as the opening remark. And I'm telling you, at the end of each and every conversation, Raila was one of the politicians that the people of Kenya knew his moves, particularly even from how he spoke. You would know very well that at this particular moment, Raila is almost finishing the conversation. You will know that at this particular moment, Raila is, from the tone and how he expressed himself, the people had learned Raila in terms of politics and how he operated politics, and the people loved it so much that they wanted each and every time to associate or to be there to listen to him. Remember the many Kitendawilis, the many stories, he knew quite a lot in terms of history. He would give it to you. Look at the history of the colonialist. Look at the history of Africa. Look at the history of each and every tribe in the Republic of Kenya. And you would know all those people who, in one way or another, suffered on behalf of a community, and he would acknowledge it. And whenever he would, speak about them, it looked like he was, uh, awakening the spirits of the toughest or the freedom fighters. And if whenever the people heard of it, they would feel that this is the person, this is the right person. We are not seeing that, and we are not going to see it any soon in any politician in the Republic of Kenya. Oburu Oginga, as much as he's a blood brother to Raila Amolo Odinga, he is not talented in the field of charisma. I mean, he does not have the charisma, the political charisma that Raila used to have. He cannot have it. He might be having quite a lot in terms of resemblance, in terms of the tone and the voice, but the politics that Raila Amolo Odinga played was one top-notch politics that whether you are his son or whether you are his blood brother, it is difficult for anybody to you know to continue that kind of politics. And that then reminds me of Otieno Kajwang. If you remember the late Otieno Kajwang, the first senator of Homa Bay, who was also a close confidant of Raila Amolo Odinga, a man who also played a high politics, a man who would move the similar manner that Raila used to do. When Kajwang Senior died, when Kajwang died, people would see his characters in his brothers. TJ Kajwang, the member of parliament of Ruaraka, and later on, of course, his brother was elected as the senator of Homa Bay. But they cannot match the politics that the the Kajwang Senior used to play. And that is what we are seeing. It is not going to be easy for ODM or to operate or to continue moving if they still have the mentality that Oburu can take them or can make them look or can lead in a similar way that Raila used to lead. It is not possible. And again, Raila, as much as Oburu Oginga, as much as is older than Raila with 1 or 2 years, Raila was more strong. He was even stronger than he was too strong. I can say so. As much as, of course, he was old, he would come out and speak, and whatever he was speaking would be heard. I watched Dr. Buru speaking yesterday, and I told myself that the members of ODM who are forcing Dr. Buru Oginga to be the party leader are not doing justice to him. The best thing, they should let Dr. Oburu Oginga to rest at this particular moment. Dr. Oburu Oginga has seen quite a lot. Losing a brother who was, I can say, like a breadwinner in the political limelight is not easy. And again, the weight that they are putting on Dr. Oburu Oginga is one that he cannot manage. The best thing they should do is to relieve him of and to give that particular mantle to somebody who is younger, somebody who can still drive that particular that particular boat. Whether they're not going to perfectly do it, but with consistency, and whether it is on a long-term basis, it can be seen. But at this particular point, I don't think it is good for them to continue putting pressure to Dr. Buru Oginga, who has also he has actually understood that the people are not with him. The reason why I'm saying the people are not with him is he has started giving threats. I think that is the best way I should put it. That if you are having a divergent opinion, or you are not willing to get, to listen to the party directives, you should leave. What does that tells you? I can tell you that let these young people be given this opportunity to run this particular party. Let them give one of these young people to be the party leader of ODM. Let the likes of Sifuna, the likes of Winnie, the likes of Babu be given opportunity to lead the political party. It can work, but Dr. Buru currently cannot do it because, one, being a party leader of a party like ODM requires somebody who is energetic, somebody who is going to give directions and is also on the forefront, implementing the directive that they've given. Unless they want to change what the people have always thought and believed and known about ODM. And then this mentality of trying to to exclude others based on whether they're coming from other tribes, or you don't want to listen to others, it is not right. It is not going to assist ODM to grow. It is actually going to break it. If, for example, Sifuna leaves, I can guarantee you the Sotsi and almost all the leaders from Western Mua in ODM will also leave. Is that not weakening the party? Is that not taking the party to its deathbed? If people come from different regions, let them be understood. Let them sit down and consult. Because if Baba Raila Amolo Odinga was still alive, not once but several times, people used to have divergent opinion, and it would bring them back, and people would then make the right choices. So I want to say that running ODM is still not going to be easy, but the approach that is being used currently to run ODM, I can guarantee you it's not going to save ODM, but instead it's going to make ODM to either it's taking ODM to its deathbed. That is what I can say. ODM is not going to last if the narrative that is currently out and the language that is still being used, a language that is looking like a threat to other leaders, it is not going to work. Allow me to read some few comments over here. Shaima here is saying that Raila was getting it easy to lead ODM because he focused on people problem, but if you ignore people problem, it will not be easy. I agree with you. What made Raila to consistently be understood by majority of his followers was the fact that he would listen to them. He would make very tough decisions. The tough decisions that he would make, he would do that with after consulting the people. And that is why Raila survived in the political limelight for long. All these people wants to be leaders has to know. They have to know very well that if you don't consult the people, you are going nowhere. Yeah, so that would be my take. Allow me to just acknowledge the presence of our good friends, Paul. Paul, thank you so much, Paul, for finding time to be with us. Our good friend, Good Year, thank you so much, Good Year. We really appreciate. I can also see you've gifted us some, some packs over here. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, Good Year. I can see Gen Z001, Judith Karuitha over here. Thank you so much, Judith, for also finding time to be with us. I can see Shaima. Shaima, thank you so much for as well being with us. We really appreciate your presence. And who else? Who else? Yeah. So I just want to remind you that, of course, this is Brother Benson Media. And over here, we say that your opinion counts. Miguda, maybe you can give me you can present to me some of the questions that were also discussed. I give my opinion.
Welcome, brother. You can hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear
Hello,
you.
hello, hello. Hello. We were discussing about the issue in Uganda, so you can proceed that one. Uganda.
Okay, thank you so much. I haven't really checked on the latest about Uganda, but as far as it is concerned, I know that there was an election that was going on in Uganda, an election that, of course, was for the presidential. It was a presidential election, and we know that there were two main presidential contestants. That is the current president Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the young man Bobby Wine. He has a very difficult name. I want to say that first, the I can say that for the government of Uganda to decide that they were going to shut the internet and all those other platforms that are used by most of the young people, that was the first sign that this election was going to be rigged. And I can guarantee you, you will hear that it was serious. There was a serious rigging. Because why? The question is, why would a government decide from nowhere that they're going to shut down internet? Why would they do that? What is it that they are fearful of? What is it that they want to hide? Why is it that they want to be in darkness? And then the other question that will come is that what kind of things do people do in darkness? I can say that that government, of course, had a plan or has a plan. We saw similar things happening in Tanzania. And then what was the outcome? We saw a government, a sitting president getting 98% of the votes, something that is next to impossible. And that is what we are going to witness in Uganda. Shutting of internet, I can tell you, it is being applied by most of the dictators of the world. The president of Uganda, who is the current dictator, who just took over, who was just welcomed into the world of dictatorship, did the same. And it is not right. The people have a right to get to know what is happening. It is internet that is being used to do quite a lot in terms of communication. If you shut the internet, then you have some ill motive. And that ill motive, of course, when you're doing it during election, is very clear that you want to get yourself or involve yourself into rigging. We saw quite a lot. There are, of course, reports that there were rigging in that particular. There were some rigging that were reported. So we have to be very particular and we have to be very truthful, because it cannot be that we, in whichever countries that we are in, we are seeing leaders that have been elected by the people getting into office and then they change, their behaviors change, and then they start coming up with some narrative or laws which are not right. Similar things were, we understand that the government of Kenya wants to start introducing such kind of things. That is why they were coming up with the cybercrime act or laws that they are trying to force on the people of Kenya. But I can guarantee you that Kenya has walked quite a lot of miles ahead. We cannot allow a government to shut down or to even interfere with the rights of the people, because right of communication and getting to know what is happening is part of the things that we enjoy as a people. Part of the reason why the young people of Uganda went on street is because the internet was also shut and such kind of things. It is not right, and there's a probability we might see the same in Uganda. But the problem in Uganda again is the policemen are all over and they're being used by the state to mistreat the citizens, something which is not right, that we have to call out as a people. Humanity is a humanity. Life is a gift that is being given by God. Only God alone gives life. It is not right to see a fellow human being tortured just because they are speaking their mind or they are standing or giving their views. It is not right. But in Kenya, I can guarantee you, there are such kind of plans that are already on place, so that when we get to elections, similar things would be done. But I can tell you, the youth of the Republic of Kenya cannot allow that. They will only do that maybe while kneeling down. They will not kneel down, and see the government doing such a thing. We need to call out bad governance, dictatorship in Eastern Africa. We are seeing it. It started from Rwanda. It wasn't that massive. In Uganda, it has always been there. It seems like all the dictators of East Africa are, learning from Uganda. We saw the president of Tanzania also behaving like acting like a good student of dictators after learning some few tactics from the neighboring. You know, we are seeing similar things also in Kenya. So we need to be very watchful, and we should not entertain certain behaviors, because if we do, the moment we allow leaders to start implementing laws which are illegal, then that then becomes the basis of bad leadership. That then becomes the basis of dictatorship, and the bad things will then thrive. So we have to be very careful, very careful, and of course protect the dignity and the constitution that we have as a people, because that is the only way we can make our country better. I think yeah. So as we wait for that election results, I can also say that we, we just be patient and get to know the truth. Of course, will come out. That is what I can say. And Miguda, maybe something else that you do want me to give my opinion on.
Maybe you can give your opinion on statement or remarks by Ruto when he was in Nyeri. He was saying, "You, the people, voted for me. Do you think I can go for those who are Shenzi?" Who were these people being referred to?
Okay. Thank you so much. I did give my view on the same yesterday, but I said that it is wrong for leaders to be using some remarks which are not respectful, because as a country we've come from far. As a country we've seen what bad language, we've seen what being tribal can cause. Those who have read, if they were not there, they've read is what really happened in 2007, 2008. And those who are there, if they saw what happened in 2007, 2008, all those things were courtesy of bad language, using wrong language, which then changed to something like tribalism and all those kind of things. I want to say that as leaders, and of course as the president, the governors, let those leaders use the right language when they are having a communication with the people, because the language that you use can either destroy a country or build a country. People who are held in high regards, like the president, needs to set them. To lead by example. Leading by example in the sense that they use the right language, a language that is uniting, a language that is that can be embraced, a language that is consoling. It is not right to use wrong languages, or a language that other community or other people will feel that they are offended or they are not respected. And therefore call out all those political leaders who have been using a language that is not in order, that they should refrain. As a country, we've come from far, we've seen both the good and the bad. When we speak about the good things, let us use the right language. When we speak about the bad things, that is when we will also witness bad things in the republic. So we have a choice as a people, as leaders, and we have to remind the leaders that they have a duty to unite the people, and the constitution is very clear. Amongst all these particular leaders who are elected, if you followed part of the oath that they do swear, is ensuring that the country, of course, is united, it is peaceful, and they're not supposed to use any other form, whether language or anything that is not right, that can divide or cause death or make others feel that they do not belong. Yeah, so that would be my take on that particular statement. And then something else that I also wanted to give my view on is um, Governor Wamatangi. I saw he was his properties were demolished the other day, and then today I also saw that he's being targeted for uh, by the EACC of having misquandered almost 800 and something million, and some of his bank accounts. I mean, his bank accounts have been frozen by the courts. This, to me, if you ask me, I don't understand. If I don't advocate for people to steal from the republic, I mean from the public, but what I've always said is that let us be truthful. Let us be truthful in the sense that when we are applying, when we are fighting for something, let us fight for it as if, let us fight for justice, whether it is you are on looking for that justice or your brother or your sister or whoever is around. It is not right that if you have a political difference, that is when now you start following your opponents, making their lives unbearable. But when they are on your side, they are allowed to amass wealth, they are allowed to steal. That is so unfair. I'm not supporting any politician, but I want to say that let the same let the same government or the EACC that is looking after the government officials, those who have stolen, let them look everyone. Let them not just look for the opponents of the government, because it is then not right. Let everybody get justice. Let all the thieves be arrested. Let not other thieves be protected. When they are going for thieves, let them go for all the thieves. EACC has always been used by the political, uh, by the ruling governments. We've seen it not once but several times. I can say it without fear of contradiction. The EACC is a tool that is being used by the government. I wonder, I know the head of EACC, these are people who have been leaders in the religious groups. I wonder why they're also accepting to be used, if truly they're truthful to their God, the one that they used to serve before they were appointed or given these opportunities to serve as leaders or heads of these particular departments. I wonder why people who are against the government would be followed, and those in the government who are, just doing their thing, stealing left, right, and center, and there's nothing that is being done to them. To me, that is unfair. We need to stand with truth and speak the truth as it is. So I've seen that kind of move that is being followed, that they're following Governor Matangi. I do not know. They know. But one thing that I condemn, if he's told, they should go for it. Whether he's supporting the government or not supporting the government. I've seen, and I can give you quite a number. Look at Waluke, Honorable Waluke. Because he decided to side with the government, he's today a free man. But if he was on the opposition, he was in jail. Such kind of behaviors, that is why you can never have a leader having a political stand or listening to the people or doing the will of the people. Reason being, they cannot think by themselves. they are at the mercies of the people in the top positions. It's that unfortunate. But again, uh, we have a country. We have a country that has to get to where it's supposed to get to. That would be my remarks again on that particular move by the EACC. And yeah, so Miguda, any other? Miguda, are you there? Or any question from the
Yeah,
comment section?
I'm following you. Just proceed. I'm listening.
What else did you guys talk about that I should give my view on?
Yesterday's rally, was it successful or not? I think something like that. The organization
One
of
end by
itself.
Oburu Oginga, I can say that it was not successful. And I can say
Why
that
do
under
you think
the
that is
watch
not
of
now?
Oburu Oginga, the brother to Raila Amolo Odinga, ODM is falling. That is the truth of the matter. And I wanted to put it as plain as I have said it. It is under the watch of Dr. Oburu Oginga Odinga, who is the blood brother of Raila Amolo Odinga. The ODM is the political party is dying. The rally that was held yesterday in Kibra was not a successful rally because there was a lot of confusion. Confusion to the extent that if you watched that particular video, you'll see members of parliament, they are also confused. They want to speak, they want Dr. Oburu to speak. Oburu himself was also confused in this sense. He did not even know what to say, what to tell the people. It looks like he was even ambushed to get to this, to the streets or to that particular rally to give a speech. He was not prepared. You could read from how confused he was. And I've said here, if these people really love Dr. Buraginga, they should let him relax. Or we understand the party has been led and was for Raila Amolo Odinga. He can watch from behind. He can make decisions from behind. Because at this rate, what we are doing is there's no difference with what is happening in Uganda. Museveni is still coming out to tell the people that if you elect me, I'm going to expand the roads. And he has been president for more than 35 years. That if you elect me, I'm going to improve the Wi-Fi system, the internet. And he's been president for more than 35 years. And I've heard even his personal advisor saying that after Museveni, it is his son Muhozi, who is the CDF, Uganda. Why would we come with the same narrative and then we start saying that ODM party was Raila Amolo Odinga's? So his brother, Dr. Oburu Oginga, has to take over by force. Whether he's old, whether he can make the decisions, whether he's incapacitated, whichever state that he is, that it is Raila's, so it has to remain with the brother. Those are the wrong decisions that we're making. We are firebrand, young, energetic, knowledgeable, educated young people who can drive that particular party. Instead of them being given the opportunity, they are being sent out of the party. The question we're asking is, there is no difference with what is happening in ODM, with those things that are happening in Uganda, those things that are happening in Tanzania. We have a rotten system in ODM. That is the truth of the matter. It cannot be that somebody who is 80 something years is still the party leader of ODM, and yet we have young people who can do it. If we care about the old, we should give them a good, dignified retirement package. I look at what is happening in Africa, and then I ask myself, Oburu Oginga also, if he was man enough and a leader enough, he would have said that, yes, I was an interim, but I cannot continue. Give it to young person. He calls himself youth leader. There's nothing like youth leader there. Those are power hungry lions, if you ask me. I can put it in that particular way. And you're also seeing some other hungry lions behind him, forcing him to speak, and he cannot speak. The hungry lions besides him wants to also speak to the crowd. They are confusing him more. What we saw yesterday is a disgrace to the old people. Old people should be given maximum respect. They should be allowed to rest at home. They are making Dr. Buro Ginga to have more problems and to have more stress. Dr. Buro Ginga should just be at home, relaxing in his gym and walking and running within his compound, not being taken in Kibra, and it is being forced to start giving speeches that he does not even know, where it is supposed to be going. We need to be truthful. And as young people, we have to also be speaking the truth. Because if we don't speak the truth, we are not going to get that space. We are seeing a group of politicians within ODM ganging. The other day, I saw Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay, saying that she's the one who gives the tickets, and if they've noted you, they will. Well, even if you win or something like that, you'll not be given the opportunity. I want to say that let us give the opportunity to the young people. Let them be given the space to exercise what they can do. Let them be given the environment to showcase their abilities. So if you ask me now, in this ODM at some point used to say, oh, we care about the young people, oh, we have to lead the youth league, oh, now look at it, look at the leaders. I sit down and I see Dr. Buro Ginga, the party leader, and then I see the likes of Wanga, the chairperson. I look at these other ones that are speaking about the broad base, and then I ask myself, do you think these people are taking the people of Kenya, the ODM members, to the right place? The answer is no. These people are full of greed. These people are looking for personal benefits. And that is why the speed at which they're taking ODM to UDA, or to government, or to whichever Kenya Kwanza, it is a supersonic speed. Watu wanaona vumbi nyuma, wanauliza ni nini imepita na hii vumbi. What is this for? We are being told that it is ODM that is taken, escorted to the government. It is so painful for those who loved the values of that particular party, for those who knew what Raila Amolo Odinga stood for. It is so unnecessary that immediately, not even a year, few months, few weeks, a party that someone struggled to build now being escorted at a supersonic speed, to the wrong political outfit that is called Kenya Kwanza. It is improper for ODM to unite with this government. This government has not stood for the people. This government has not worked for the people. This government has not been genuine and truthful. This government has not respected the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. This government has not respected the rights of the people, including right to live, right to associate, right to communicate, right to move. This government has not respected ODM party based on all those grounds that it was formed. A democratic party, as I used to hear, a party that used to fight for the rights of the people, a party that used to condemn the injustices. Today, we are seeing it being driven by a supersonic speed taken to the government. It is not right. And when they are told, some leaders telling them it is not right, let us rethink about this. They're being told that you should leave. You should have left yesterday. And if you question, you are being told you're from another area. This party belongs to us. So Raila's narrative and the thinking was the party was a national party. Today, some leaders changing or making the party look like a Luo party, a party that was national, a party that was vibrant. It is not right. We need to call those leaders out. Just know that the ground in land is not as good as they used, and that is why they're also looking for state support. That is why they this particular party to government so that they can look or ask for this from the assist them. Run that particular party so that they can get the opportunity to rig themselves into positions come 2027. Good, those are my remarks on that particular question. What is the next question, Miguda?
What's the future of ODM without other affiliate tribe? If now that's for the lower people, what's the future of ODM? And do you think right now there's a discussion in the country concerning of how to remove William Ruto from power? Why do you want to associate with someone whom people are planning to remove from power?
The future of ODM is finished. Continued narrative similar to this that I'm seeing, continued way of driving or moving forward with the problems that are currently there when they're not looked in. Nothing positive that come out of ODM. The way I see ODM is going. ODM has problems. The problems has been caused by the leaders. The leaders who have caused the problem are the greediest leaders. They're the ones that have not performed. They're looking for state support. They're looking for financial. They're looking for a way to amass wealth. The future of ODM is not known. ODM is going nowhere. ODM is currently in the ICU. The only time that you are going to hear of ODM is 2027. Past 2027, you'll not hear of ODM. Yeah. That would be my take on that. And ODM party is not going to survive if majority. They're saying that the Luo Nyanza MPs are the majority. If you check or look at the Luo Nyanza, there's a group of Luo Nyanza who are also not associating themselves with the government. They're saying this government has done nothing and there's no way they can continue working or support that particular government. So it is not all Luo members that are also supporting this particular government. But I can say that all the leaders from other regions, whether it is Western, whether it is Coast, whether it is Kisii, there is quite a number of leaders and not who are satisfied. Most of the ones from the Western. Should they leave the party, that would mean that the party would still lose the many numbers of members of parliament that they've always had, that has always always given them the strength. The more the member of parliament, the more the member of elected members within the party, the stronger the party. I can say that if they lose, the way I'm seeing they're going to lose the Western, it is very open that members who are going to leave the party from the Western would then join other political parties, and that would not really be beneficial to the ODM party. it would make them weak, and it would also make them not have the powers that they've always had in terms of whether they're going for negotiations. ODM has always survived because it has always had majority of many members, and the many members they've always had has given them the upper hand or the advantage of going to negotiate for bigger positions. Without the unity, and should the leaders from other regions leave ODM, should it be left to the Luo political party, I can tell you that in 2020, past 2027, we'll never hear of ODM. So it is upon them, the current leaders of ODM, to solve the problems that are being faced by ODM. It is upon the leaders of ODM to embrace all the tribes within the Republic of Kenya. It is upon the members or the leaders of ODM to let the people who have supported ODM feel part and parcel of that particular party. If they don't do that, I can tell you ODM will be some small party in the coming years. Simba Nataya, you can also give us your views. You've spoken of quite a lot. Mikuda, maybe you can ask Simba to give his views on the specific. Or Simba, I don't know whether you've heard part of the questions have been asked by Mikuda.
Habari bwana Mako Bora na Mikuda, nafikiria mnaendelea vizuri kama mnanipata.
Nakusikiza, karibu sana, asante. Thank you for finding time to join us.
Asante. Lakini kwa maoni mafupi ambayo nimepata kama unaendelea nayo, nafikiria kuna kitu moja yenye sijui ni watu wengi ama ni wewe haujaelewa. Chama especially chama cha ODM ilikuwa ni kucapture power ikiwa ODM. Hiyo haikuwezekana, na wakati walifaulu kufikia hapo, lakini ikasambaratishwa na taasisi za serikali ambazo zilikuwa ziko katika uongozi wakati huo. Lakini kwa sasa ujue kwamba mambo ni mengi sana yamebadilika, na jambo ambalo unajaribu kuliongelea, mimi naliona ni kama ni kejeli, kwa sababu sio eti wabunge wa Western wakiwa wataondoka. Wabunge wanaenda kuwa ni wachache, lakini chama ambacho kinaitwa ODM kitakuwa ndani ya serikali, na hiyo ndio madhumuni kubwa ya political party. Sasa kwa sababu itakuwa ina winning coalition, hawa wengine pia hata kama watakuwa katika vyama vingine, lakini watakuwa ndani ya serikali. Hiyo ndio kitu hamtaki kuambia watu eti itakuwa ni hivyo. Ndio wataenda vyama vingine, lakini ambazo zitakuwa aligned. Kwa saizi sisi agenda yetu ni kusign a pre-election agreement na UDA kucapture power, sio kuimarisha chama eti chama kiwe maarufu, kiwe na wabunge wengi. Hayo mambo yote yaliisha wakati baba alituacha. Saizi sisi agenda yetu ni ya Singapore. Hapo ndio mahali tunaelekea. Mambo haya mengine tu itakuwa ni mambo ya kawaida.
Maybe Simba, if you can answer me this, what is the need of a party like ODM then joining the government, but they're joining a government with 7 members of parliament or 10 members of parliament? And you know very well, some years back, they've been getting more than 160, 80 members of parliament. Well, should those other members of parliament, other leaders from other regions who feel they are secluded, should they join other political parties? how is it going to be beneficial to ODM? And something else that you should also not see by is that when you see leaders, other leaders, saying that they are not willing to continue being in ODM, the reason is they are not supporting the agenda of broad-based government. They are not supporting the fact that the current president has performed well as per their expectation. And so part of the reason why they would leave is we are leaving to join other political parties that are not subscribing or supporting the government. I think that is the truth of the matter. Or what is your say?
Makobura, the truth of the matter ni hiyo vile unasema hivyo, na hiyo ndio tunaita demokrasia.
I agree with you. That is democracy, and we've boasted of being democratic country. But my question to you is, what is the need of ODM risking something that they can solve so that they can find a solution of what is the risk of it going that they are going to join a government and then going to have 10 members of parliament instead of sitting down and solving their problems so that they go when they're going for election they can have maybe 90 or 100 members of parliament. What is the justification for them having 10?
ODM
Why
cannot form a
is it
government by its own. It has to go into a coalition. Na hivyo ndio wamekuwa wakifanya before. What's the problem doing it now like the way they had been doing it?
I haven't said that there is any political party that goes for elections alone and win.
And what's the
We know
problem ODM forming a coalition government with UDA? Why is it bitter?
You know me, I'm asking you a question. There's nothing like bitterness. I'm just asking you a question. Simba, you have your own home. I want to put it in this manner.
Makobura,
Let me
kwa
give
sasa wacha ni kujibu kwa njia ambayo ni very brief. Raila Odinga died na Mungu aiweke roho yake mahali pema penye wengi, akiwa amewacha chama cha ODM katika ndani ya serikali. This fight is a small fight yenye hata haiwezi enda mahali. Wale wenye wanapinga watoke waingie vyama zingine wachaguliwe kutoka huko, then tuone ni wangapi kati ya hao wenye wanapinga watarudi. Mbona hiyo experiment watu hawaitaki?
Who do you think is going to lose? Is it not the political party that has always been the most vibrant?
ODM will form the next government ikiwa in a coalition with UDA. It will not lose anything. People who will lose ni individuals.
Are they not going to, with the same narrative that is currently on the run, Brother Simba, are they not going to lose other members of parliament from other regions if they don't listen and solve the problems that are currently facing?
Those members will lose individually. Wale watu ambao walikuwa na fikira sababa, walikuwa wanafuata fikra, maadili na inchi kue. We will lose nothing.
Do you know what makes a political party strong, Simba Netaya? Would you kindly clarify to us what makes political parties strong? And being that you've been around, you know what has always made
agenda ya chama ni kuform government. Period. Hiyo ndio sababu all are reformed.
So agenda ya chama ni kuform, ni to win government. Okay. So if you have a political party, if I decide to form
in fact,
I have, allow me to just say this.
Kwa goal tumeona ndio hii. Yes.
Simba, I'm asking you a question. If I form a political party today, and maybe you as the president, me as the deputy president, we win the election, and we have no members of parliament, we have no senators, would you still be happy that yes, we won, we have won the election, you are the president, I'm the deputy?
after 2007 elections, who had the majority?
That's a different example.
No,
I
it's
don't
the same
think that is
question.
the right
It's the same question. It's the same question umeuliza.
ODM had the
Enda kwa
majority.
uchaguzi wa 2007. Who had the
ODM
majority?
had the majority. But
Then
remember,
did it
that
form a
was a
government?
grand coalition. A grand coalition is totally different, far much different, with a government that has been formed.
Marco Bura, let's reason this thing. After election, it is the time that a grand coalition was formed. But mimi kitu yenye nimekuuliza, it's a different question. Immediately after the election, who had the majority?
Of course, ODM had the majority.
Ndio walishinda urais?
Of course, they won the
No,
president.
ndio walishinda urais.
As far as I know, they won the
Sasa
presidential.
unajua hii mambo ya as far as ndio nataka turekebishe.
That is the truth of the matter.
Who was declared as president?
Kibaki was declared, but he didn't win.
That is the fact. Where jibu kitu vile ilivyo, na hivyo ndivyo vile ilivyo. Hakuna kitu itawahi change kwa records za government. Whichever the case, whichever the outcome, unaweza kuwa na minority. Hata saa hii uchaguzi yenye tumetoka hii ya 2022, who had majority and what happened after? Hii vitu zingine tuachane nazo.
And you've not answered my question. As a political party, what would excite you? Suppose you are a party leader, that you are going for a presidential election, you've won the presidential election, but out of 300 or 200 members of parliament, you have only won 5.
Then that will be the results.
Okay.
Ndio sababu kuna kuwaga na post-election coalitions. We have pre and a post. What we are doing now as ODM, it's a pre.
Simba, can I ask you a question?
Niko hapa.
If you followed the campaigns of William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, do you still remember the promises or the agenda that he had for the people
Marco
of Kenya
Bura,
during his...
I want to answer you in very brief words. Enda kwa Mtembei TV, go to the answered, get my record as I put it every day tukiwa kwa show. I was not for. He's the president now. Nothing happened. Hatukuama.
We are not disputing anything. Ruto is the president. Nobody is saying he's not. I'm just asking you a question. That are you aware, or is it true, that once you get into government or you win an election, and you don't have the majority, there are many chances that you'll get out, you'll not be able to implement the promises that you gave to the people. Today, you're seeing the president talking about Singapore. You're not seeing him talking about the ASLA. You're not seeing him talking about the promises that he gave the people of Kenya. Majority of the promises he gave the people of Kenya. He's currently diverted based on the fact that as much as he might be having the majority of the members of parliament, he cannot continue running the government smoothly. That is why he even got into these coalition agreements with ODM as a way of assisting him to run a smooth government. So my question to you is, back again to the ODM, what is it that ODM is going to benefit? Should they get into government, but they do not have the power to make the decisions that are going to help them as a political party?
Marco Bura, Political parties don't run a government. But the president forms a government.
Okay, so I'll stop it at that. Allow me to acknowledge once again our viewers and to appreciate the fact that they've joined us. Goodyear, thank you so much. Paulo, thank you so much. Shaima, thank you so much. Judith, thank you so much. And everyone who joined us, we really appreciate. I want to remind you that this is Brother Wilson Media, and over here people say that your opinion counts, and the opinion of Simba Netaya here is also counts. So Paul here is saying the day Ruto will win to term ODM, they will cry in toilet when they remember. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, but you've heard from our good friend Simba Netaya, who has given his views based on what he knows or what he thinks or what he believes in. I just want to remind you that over here we don't, the host, we are not politically aligned. We just ask questions as it is. And of course, we need clarification, just like our viewers need clarifications. So we are not in any way politically aligned. We are as neutral as we are trying to, when something is not clear or when our friends are coming up with a narrative that is not really clear and us helping the people of Kenya, we question and we ask them to give their narrative or their views. We simply ask them to convince the people. Whoever wins, it is okay. Yeah, so thank you so much. I would wish to just end in a few. I'll give you some few minutes to ask any question at the comment section. I can give my views before we close the show. But meanwhile, I want to appreciate everyone who joined us. And we say thank you so much for finding time to be with us, for coming to give us your views, for commenting. And I'm also saying that Laban is saying we don't care about how many. We care two term period. Kama si two term, we care two term period. Eh, it is okay. You only care about two term. You don't want to know what is going to happen in that two term. You don't want to know whether the people of Kenya will get development in that two term or not. You don't want to know whether the injustices of the people who are killed are going to be compensated or not. It is just two term. That is according to Laban Misiani. According to Laban Misiani, Laban is saying whether you like me or you keep me, it is two term. Whether you like it or not, it is two term. He does not want to know the formula that you're going to use to get to two term. Laban is simply saying that it is two term. Whether all the members in ODM will not get elected, but ODM is in government. According to Laban, it is two term. He does not care. Hey, okay. The Republic of Kenya, we've had leaders. Sometimes back we've had leaders. Sometimes back we've had leaders. Leaders like Tom Mboya. We've had leaders like Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. We've had leaders like Jomo Kenyatta. We've had quite a number of leaders, not forgetting the likes of Raila Amolo Odinga, Martin Shikuku, Kijana Wamalo, amongst others. We have had leaders. We have had leaders. We have got to provide for all. Hashtag 2 term. Hey, God is going to take you to Singapore. I don't know how the supporters of 2 term have been brainwashed to an extent that they do not want to really talk about the real things. You know, the people who are saying 2 term, they are behaving like one day you just go and sleep, and then when you wake up, you are in Singapore. You cannot get to Singapore without serious plans. You cannot get to Singapore when billions of money are being stolen every day. You cannot get to Singapore when people are being killed left, right, and center. You cannot get to Singapore if you don't listen to the young people of the Republic of Kenya. You cannot march to Singapore if EACC are being used by government to silence critics. You cannot get to Singapore when you don't speak the truth. You will never get to Singapore with a government that do not respect the human rights. You cannot get to Singapore. With having a tribal mind, you cannot get to Singapore. You can only get to Singapore when you have a strategy, when you have a plan, when you're speaking the truth, when you're saying it the way it is. That is when you'll get to Singapore. But at the rate at which I'm seeing things around, Singapore will be a fallacy. The rate at which the language that is being used by the political class is not uniting the people, is not consoling the people, we will not get to Singapore, truth be told. Let us be genuine people. William Samoei Ruto might get re-elected as the president. But as things stand, and with the formula that we are seeing being used around, there is nothing much. We cannot get to Singapore. It cannot happen. We are not yet there. If he wanted to take us to Singapore and he was using the right formulas, we would have. The people of Kenya are not mad people. They will see and say that hii yenyewe inatupeleka Singapore. We are not some dandas. We are people who are learned. Kenya has learned people. If they are being taken to Singapore, even when they are sleeping, they'll be able to know that, hey, this one we are being taken to Singapore. But at this rate, their eyes are wide open. They're being told we are taking you to Singapore. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that he who believes in him should never perish, but maybe at some particular point should have eternal life. Thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity once again to appreciate, to say a big thank you to everyone who joined us. Particularly Laban, thank you so much. Paul, thank you so much. Goodia, thank you so much. Shaima, thank you so much. Judith, thank you so much. And everyone who joined us, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. We really appreciate the fact that you took your time to join us. And if you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us na sisi hapa. Tutasema ni asante. Laban Musiani, bye bye. Good night. Udia, bye bye, good night. Shaima, bye bye, good night. Paulo, bye bye, good night. I cannot be traumatized. May I speak the truth? I currently do not have any person, or I'm not seeing any person who is truthful enough, standing with the people, speaking about the people's issues in the Republic of Kenya. So as we'll continue just saying it as it is. Yeah, so thank you so much everyone for your time. We appreciate. I want to remind you that we really appreciate your time. God bless you. See you again tomorrow. We appreciate the fact that you joined us this evening. Bye bye and see you tomorrow.